The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for riveting interviews with Kate Flannery. She's the executive director of the upstate New York chapters of the Alzheimer's Association. Colleen Prosser stops by, VP of Communications and Development at Nescentia Health. Marcy Korzakowski is the owner of North Shore Coffee and Tea Company. And finally, we'll talk with Jerome Snyder, who is the owner of Pestmaster Services. Right now, it's my pleasure to reintroduce Kate Flannery, Executive Director of the Upstate New York chapters of the Alzheimer's Association.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Try and put that on a name badge.
I know.
That was a mouthful.
Gotta be tough.
I used to joke next time, my next career, I'm going to build bridges so I could just point, not talk about what I do. I did that.
I like that.
Good golly. Well, Kate, you do such a great job over there. Everyone who meets you just says you light up a room and do a great job with your
Nobody says that about Tom.
Nobody says that. No. Just the opposite, quite frankly. I'm a big fan, and Steve knows it, and some of our listeners, all 4 of them, might know that I like the Hallmark Channel and you know, the Great American Channel and all that stuff, like the Christmas shows. And they just had a show on recently, made me think of you, and it was about an Alzheimer's walk, and this girl comes into a town and kind of unites the town, and it was all about Alzheimer's. But boy, it brings a tear to your eye, because the one coordinator in the town that was, like, you know, part of the association, turns out she has Alzheimer's, so and is battling the dementia and stuff. But you know, it made me think of all the hard work that you guys do and all the events that you do. Give us a little background on yourself and what you might have coming up with Alzheimer's.
Well, thank you so much. And the Hallmark Channel is a wonderful partnership for the Alzheimer's Association. To your point, people love it, secretly and publicly.
Right. Women.
Yeah, oh no, I like it.
And Tom.
But it's a wonderful outreach and educational tool for us, that there are walks in every community across the country, and that people should come together to understand that there are supports and services, because so many people who struggle with Alzheimer's and dementia, including their caregivers and families, do it in isolation, right? They hide. There's embarrassment and shame where there doesn't need to be, but it's a very isolating disease for both the individual and the family, because they don't want to be disrespectful of who the person is and all they've accomplished and all their capacities and what they've been, you know, their whole lives, their identity. But the truth of the matter is that people need support when they are going through this type of a brain disease. And so the Hallmark Channel has really done a great job with partnering with us to get the educational message out there that there is help in your community. We have a 24-hour hotline that it goes across the country. It's 1-800-272-3900, 1-800-272-3900. 24/7. It is manned by a professional who is a master's level clinician and counselor who can help individuals not only in crisis or struggling as a caregiver, but can also direct them to local supports and services.
Okay. Did I hear you say that there's folks that have family members, maybe that they're taking care of, and they haven't even told anybody the level that they do, so they do it behind the scenes and really alone and for a long, and don't want to pull it up because maybe they don't want to make the individual shame or something? Is that what I heard you say?
We hear from a lot of caregivers and family members that it almost feels disrespectful to talk about their loved ones' diminishing capacities, right? That it's somehow like, you know, my father was so capable, he's the strongest man I know, he could navigate his way through anything, and all of a sudden he's lost his roadmap and maybe struggling with daily tasks.
Yeah. I
had an individual, a family member came to me the other day, and they're trying to take care of a spouse. His mother's trying to take care of his father, and he's trying to take care of his she's trying to take care of her husband. He's trying to take care of his father. And they're trying to find, like, you know, chores that he could do on a daily basis to stay involved. And they said, you know, water the flowers. And the father said, with the can? Yeah, with the can that's in the garage that you always do. He put gasoline on all the flowers. He got confused.
That's terrible. Yeah.
And that's heartbreaking to me.
Yes, that is.
It was hard for, obviously, the mother, that's her garden and her pride and joy.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be helpful. He just got confused.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that level of, that's a small thing in the world, like we're going to get past it. But those are the things that cumulatively wear down family members and wear down caregivers. And they don't really necessarily share what's happening. They called us to share what was happening, but they didn't want to tell the family, extended family, because it feels disloyal to him. Mm-hmm. In their minds.
Does it seem like things are moving at a rapid pace in terms of finding a way to not only put off the symptoms of Alzheimer's, but also maybe coming close to some sort of a cure?
We are in an era of treatment, and we have never had such great strides than we've had in the last few years. Mm-hmm. Diagnostically, there's going to be a blood test that's coming out that will let somebody know if they have early stage
But
Alzheimer's.
That's scary. I mean, okay. I mean, that's scary. If you look and you go, geez, I feel fine, but I have this routine blood test, and they're like, oh yeah, you're going to get Alzheimer's. Do I even want to know that?
Is it oftentimes a gene, or is it something that can just pop out of nowhere?
There are biomarkers that suggest you have a presupposition. There are environmental factors and lifestyle. 40% they think of Alzheimer's as lifestyle factors. It's not blaming the person, but saying it contributes to.
Yeah, sure.
So back to your point of it is frightening, but what's different about it now than it used to be is we can do something about it. If we find out you're diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia in the early stages, we have medicines that slow the progression.
Okay.
So it's like heart disease. Is it scary to find out you need a statin and that you have cholesterol? And yes, but now I can do something about it to weigh, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Screening, I can take a drug that will slow down the progression or prevent it. So all that is in the works.
Right.
So yes, it is frightening to think of it in that context, but if you can do something about it and slow down the progression, you'll probably die of something else, right? Of heart disease or old age, God willing.
Right. But Alzheimer's is a big banner, and I think we may have talked about this before. Sometimes folks Tom's age just forget why they walked into a room, but that's normal.
There's a very different distinction between Alzheimer's, dementia, and normal aging, right? Which we all have some trouble with word retrieval on occasion.
Yes.
I always say my mind is cluttered. I can't get rid of my 8th grade locker combination. But I can't remember what I'm supposed to get at Wegmans, and I'm standing there in the produce line, and people are like looking at me.
24, 36, 12. Thank you.
So we all have those things. So there's a distinction, right, between normal cognitive loss in aging and challenge and Alzheimer's, which is a brain disease, right? Which attacks the cells in your brain, which basically you lose your roadmap, is how I say. The distinction is you'd look at a gas can and a watering can and forget which one is for what. Yeah. That's not what's happening to you and I when we walk in and go, oh, why am I in here? Darn it, I just walked in here. What did I come in here to get? Sure. It's a distinction.
But help is on the way?
Help is absolutely on the way. We are in an era of treatment. And even for people right now, please reach out and get supports. There's a lot of education we provide for free throughout Central New York, Western New York, and Rochester Finger Lakes about what you can expect, how to support your loved one, education on finances, education on communication, safety planning for people.
Yeah, and some of the longevity experts that I follow on YouTube, these doctors, are saying that diet and nutrition are such high factors and ways to mitigate even coming down with the disease.
100%. They're finding lifestyle issues, particularly diet, right? So processed red meat's really bad for you, those types of things. You can just take, if you replace that with something more healthy 2 times a week, it changes your likelihood of getting Alzheimer's. Right. Engaging in activity, we all know exercise is good for you 30 minutes a day.
Absolutely, yeah. The exercise thing is a big
huge.
Piece of it. Yeah.
It's huge.
So lots of info, lots of help. You're not alone. That's what I hear you saying. ALZ.org.
Yes.
And they can find it, and it's /Central New York, but they can find it right there.
Absolutely.
And they can have a conversation with someone.
100%. 24 hours, 7 days a week, there's someone available to support you. After that, they will connect you, that person on the phone, to local services for in-person.
Fabulous.
Kate Flannery, thank you so much. Executive Director of the Upstate New York chapters of the Alzheimer's Association. And please get involved, folks, okay?